You have the access to, you are now co-host,
Yes,
and
sir.
you can record now. Okay. And this is about our coordinate system. That means our three types of coordinate system: Cartesian, cylindrical, spherical. These are the coordinate system. And after that, we have discussed about our Cartesian coordinate system. And while we have discussed this coordinate system, I have told you that before our 8th semester, you know about x and y coordinate system. And after that, we have discussed about x, y, and z coordinate system. That means 3D. In Cartesian coordinate, there are three types of part. That means x, y, and z. We have discussed it, and this is our x, y, z. And while we have discussed about the coordinate system, we have mentioned that x, y, and z both are perpendicular to each other. For 3D, it will be 90 degree. That means x and y it is 90 degree, y and z it is 90 degree, z and x it is 90 degree. Everyone is perpendicular to everyone. This is our three component of Cartesian coordinate system. Then we have just to put this point P, and remember one thing very carefully. For the arrow direction, say this is our x. If x is direction, the arrow direction defines the positive axis, and if we go through the opposite to arrow, it will be negative. Similarly, for y, if we just go to the arrow direction, it will be positive, and if we go to the opposite to y, it will be negative. You know about this. That means the arrow defines the positive direction, and the opposite of arrow defines the negative direction. And we have discussed it, and you are very clear. If you have any problem, you just make sure you can watch the videos I have already supplied. It will be much more clear. Then scalar and vector, we have discussed it, and there was two example maybe. What one we have solved, and another is given for you to solve. And some of you just shown me how to solve the examples. And maybe this is actually first class. uh, no, and before that we have discussed about Coulomb's law, our very basic law. We have discussed it. And at this Coulomb's law, there was a formula F is equal to Q by 4 pi epsilon summation of Qk r minus Rk divided by r modulus of r minus Rk cube. That means this is the formula. By using this formula, we have solved two or three examples, which is very important. Okay, that was our first lecture. Now I will show you the second one. That means picture where we have discussed about the examples. Okay, let us see. In this lecture, we have solved two or three examples regarding our Coulomb's law. That means this is our first example. We have solved it, and after that was a practice problem. You have solved it, then you just share with me about the answers. That means this is the example regarding Coulomb's law. Okay, after that. This is our practice problem. That means you have to solve this example as compared to our previous example. And almost many of you just solve this example. example, and they just share with their answer with me, and this is almost done. This is that was our practice problem, and there was some important formulas we have discussed. First one is divergence theorem, and second one is already we will learn about Stokes theorem. First one, divergence theorem, states that the total outward flux. That means actually you have to remember the mathematical formula. We have applied this formula in several equations, and you know about this. That means a dot ds, that means surface integral of a dot ds is equal to, that is volume integral del dot a dv. We have applied this formula to our many examples. That means you have to remember this formula very carefully. Here a is any vector. Now, Stokes theorem. Our previous theorem related to surface to volume, and Stokes theorem related to line vector to surface vector. If a is a vector, line vector of a dot dl is equal to surface vector of del cross a dot ds. That means line vector to surface vector connection is given by Stokes theorem. We have discussed about this. Now, electric flux density D. D is equal to epsilon naught E. There is some small formula. Just read this. This is very easy. Then Gauss law, which is very important. We have discussed in elaborate form. And then Gauss law states that the total electric flux psi through any closed surface is equal to the total charge enclosed by that surface. This is our Gauss law, and we have to determine two form of Gauss law. First one is point form, and second one is integral form of Gauss law. Maybe we have solved this. Okay, this is our two form is given here. Up to this is our integral form. If I say you that derive the integral form of Gauss law, you have to write up to this. And if I ask you that the point form of Gauss law, you have to solve the whole part and up to the last line. This is our point form of Gauss law. Okay, and that was our lecture number 3. Now I try to consider. Now I will show you our lecture number 4. I think this is our lecture number 4. Okay. This is our lecture number 4. And in this lecture, we have discussed about our electric potential or the voltage, the VAV. And we know about the voltage. The potential difference between 2 points is given within this formula VAB is equal to minus A to B E dot dl. We have solved this equation for potential, and we have to remember that there is some mathematical example regarding electric potential. We have also solved this, and this is our example 4.10. And after that, there was a practice problem. You have solved this. I think 10.3 kilovolt was the answer, and most of you already solved this. And this is related to actually electric potential or electric voltage. After that, we have derived our first equation for Maxwell, which is del cross E is equal to 0. This is very easy. You can see this, and maybe you can watch my video for lecture number 4. It is described there. Okay. And there was a derivative of E is equal to minus del V. It is very important, and we have solved this example and this equation what are the steps you can see from my lecture video. It is done there, and you have to remember or you have to solve this equation. E is equal to minus del v. It is very important. Okay, after that I will show you our lecture number 5. Lecture number. That was our lecture number 5. In our lecture number 5, we have discussed about a new current. You can remember this. In our lecture number 5, we have discussed about our new current, which is convection current. And that means what was our convection current? I will just repeat. In convection current, who is trying to enter? Okay, convection current, it does not involve any conductor and does not satisfy Ohm's law. And it is very important. I have just mentioned here. It does not involve any conductor and does not satisfy Ohm's law. Then this current occurs. This is known as convection current. That means if we apply a very high voltage to the insulator or insulating medium, then current will pass through it. This is known as convection current. If you consider a practical example in thunderstorm, we have discussed it and in elaborate form. In thunderstorm, it is also a clouds and the earth, but the thunderstorm, that means electricity passes through the cloud and to the earth. That means this is one kind of current, and actually we can consider this current is convection current as there is no conductor between these parts. And we have discussed these kinds of concepts. That was our lecture to previous or before our just before our final evaluation of 7th semester. And up to this, uh, I have supplied you maybe all the lecture videos and PDF and slides. You can try to find out this. And if there is any problem, you are free to ask me, sir, we have missed this lecture or this document. You can provide. I will try to provide you because all the documents are preserved here. Okay, don't need to worry about it. And for midterm, I will say I will take 1 or 2 class. After that, your midterm will be taken, and what will be the procedure and what will be the system, I will tell you before the midterm. Okay, now if there is any query, you can ask me. All are unmuted here. If there is any query, anyone can ask me. Second কিছু আছে?
স্যার মিড টার্ম এক্সামটা কবে নেবেন স্যার বলেন?
জোরে বলেন।
বলতেছি মিড টার্ম এক্সামটা কবে নেবেন বলতেছি।
মিড টার্ম কিভাবে হবে না এটা আমি আগে থেকে জানাই দেব, এখনো ডিসাইড করিনি।
স্যার এটা মানে সামনে কয় তারিখের মধ্যে নিতে পারবেন?
Maybe most probable day or fixed date of midterm is the last of this month. That means 5 to 30 of this month. Most probable day, but it is not fixed yet. The department will decide when the midterm will be taken. But as far as I can remember, almost last of this month. And it is better to prepare ourselves before this. If we just finish our midterm syllabus, then we are in relax. We have the syllabus, we have all the documents, we can appear in the midterm. That's why you just try to just connect it with me. Okay, that's all for today. If there is any no other just topic to share, that's all for today. And if there is any problem, you are free to ask me.
Sir, you have the PDF.
Yes.
This PDF.
Book PDF.
Ah.
Maybe I have supplied it, and if there is again missing, then I will share the Google Drive to you or in the group about the book. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, everyone. And Sir, please send me the roll number of today's participants. Okay.
আসসালামু আলাইকুম।